It is my goal to expose and eliminate the cons, the gimmicks, the shell games, and the smoke and mirror snow jobs involved in this industry.
Call or click 404 Eclipse.
Hello again, it's Reggie Moon with Eclipse, USA and Associates, brokered by EXP. So, you think you know everything there is to know about a reverse mortgage? Watch this. You've got a seller. He's had a property, bought it 20 years ago. He's been renting it out the last 10 years. He's made a lot of money off of it. He's going to go ahead and sell it. He's going to walk away. If everything goes right, he'll walk away with $250,000. Let's say he's Atlanta Metro. And he says, what I'm trying to do is I want to take that $250 cash and I want to buy a really nice place in Orlando. Well, I'm sorry, for $250, you're not going to get a really nice place in Orlando. Now, for $250,000, pay for it in full. It's not going to happen that way. You can get another loan and start all over. He's like, no, I'm going to take my proceeds and I'll find a $250,000 house and a fairly new one on a golf course near. No, you won't. No, you will not. No, you won't. But here's a lady you can call down there. But here's what you could do, Mr. Seller, that is over 62, that has some type of income, that has a good credit score. Here's what you can do, Mr. You sold your place, you're going to walk away with $250. Here's what you can do in Orlando. You can put down $250,000 and buy a $500,000 house with a reverse mortgage. You can purchase a house with a reverse mortgage. You put down half, the bank puts down the other half. If you're 62 plus and you have the means and the credit score, then you can close on it. You still have to pay two things. You have to pay property taxes and homeowner's insurance, and you could basically live there the rest of your life and never have a payment. That is buying a house with a reverse mortgage. So the agent could help their seller sell and help that same person buy, and that person would never have a mortgage the rest of their life. There's a lot more about reverse mortgages, just as exciting. You could even take that purchase. Let's say he took that purchase and he's making payments, but he doesn't have to. He's making payments, big chunks, and his balance now, he put down $250, the bank put down $250. He's knocked it down, where he's knocked it down $100,000. He could take that same reverse mortgage and use it as a refinance, a cash out refi instrument, and he could pull out $100 and buy a broken house that needs some work. Yes, he could. And then he could collect payments on that when he's got a tenant and then do it again 3 or 4 years later. He can do it over and over again with his reverse mortgage. So now let's take it to the end. Let's say that same $500,000 house we were talking about in the beginning. Let's say 20 years later, now it's worth, just to keep it simple, let's say it's worth $800,000. 20 years later. What happens when that man who bought the house with a reverse mortgage, what happens when he gets hit by a bus and he dies? What happens to that house? Here's what happens. The bank that loaned him the $250, they get their $250 back. They also get all the interest from all the payments that he didn't pay. Really? Yeah, it's an FHA loan. They're holding the house collateral. They're collecting interest. They're just not collecting it for a long time. That meter's running. But you don't have to pay it. But watch this. $500,000 at the beginning, $800,000 20 years later. Bank gets their $250 original. They get all the interest they did not collect. And guess who gets the equity? Almost everyone thinks the bank gets the house back. No, they get their original loan and the interest they did not collect. The equity goes to that person's heirs. That's where it goes. A lot more to it. I don't make a lot when I just refer somebody that's in the house. I don't make anything, actually. When I say call this guy, he can do a reverse for the house you're already in. And if you're living in a house and you have more than 50% equity and you're over 62 and you can qualify, you're crazy to continue having payments the rest of your life. That's just a referral I send. I just send it to the lender. But when that person does a transaction, yeah, I get paid. Yeah, you can buy with a reverse mortgage. You heard it here first. It's Reggie Moon with Eclipse, USA and Associates, brokered by EXP. I can be reached anytime at 404 Eclipse. Talk to you soon.